Welcome to the Exponential English Podcast. Have you ever told someone your big dream and then slowly lost the energy to do it? Maybe you said, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to get fit, or I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to change my life. And for a moment, it felt amazing. People smiled, people praised you, people said, wow, that's exciting. And suddenly you felt proud. But then, little by little, the fire inside you became weaker. The dream that felt so alive started to feel heavy, and in the end, nothing happened. If that has happened to you, this story is for you. Today, I want to tell you about a young man named Simon. Simon had many dreams. He wanted to become someone important. He wanted to build things, create things, and do something meaningful with his life. He was not lazy, he was not stupid, and he did not lack ideas. But there was one problem. Every time Simon had a new dream, he told everyone about it before he even began. If he wanted to build a table, he told the whole village. If he wanted to learn a skill, he announced it proudly. If he planned to start a new project, he spoke about it to friends, neighbors, and anyone who would listen. At first, people were impressed. They would say, Simon, that sounds wonderful. They would say, you are going to do great things. They would say, you are so talented and ambitious. Simon loved hearing these words. Their praise made him feel strong. Their attention made him feel important. And each time he talked about his plans, he felt a strange kind of satisfaction. It was almost like he had already done something, even though he had not started. That feeling was sweet. It was comfortable. It was exciting. But there was a hidden danger in it. After talking about his dreams, Simon often felt less hungry to work. The hard part no longer felt urgent. The praise had already given him a reward. His mind felt full, even though his hands were empty. So he delayed. He waited. He told himself he would begin tomorrow. But tomorrow became next week, and next week became next month. Soon the dream was forgotten. Then another dream came, and Simon did the same thing again. He talked. People praised him. He felt proud. Then he lost his energy. Then he did nothing. This happened again and again. Years passed this way. Simon became known as a man with many plans but no results. A man with beautiful words but unfinished work. A man who loved the sound of success more than the struggle that creates it. At first, he did not notice this, but one day, something changed. Simon was walking through the village when he heard two older men talking. They did not know he was nearby. One of them laughed and said, Simon has another dream this week. The other replied, yes, and next week he will have another one. Then the first man said, he plants nothing, but he talks as if he owns a forest. Those words hit Simon hard. He stopped walking. He felt heat in his face. His chest felt tight. He wanted to be angry, but deep inside, he knew they were right. That evening, Simon sat alone outside his small home. The sun was going down. The village was quiet. For the first time in a long while, he did not feel proud of his dreams. He felt ashamed. He looked at his hands and thought, why do I keep failing? Why do I always begin with words and end with nothing? As he sat there, an elder from the village slowly walked by. He was a calm man, respected by everyone. He did not speak much, but when he did, people listened. The elder looked at Simon and asked, "Why is your face so heavy tonight?" Simon hesitated, but then he told the truth. He said, "I have many dreams, but none of them grow. I speak about them, I feel excited, but then I lose my strength. I do not understand what is wrong with me." The elder sat beside him for a moment and said nothing. Then he pointed to a small field nearby. He asked, "Do you see that land?" Simon nodded. The elder said, "A dream is like a seed." Simon listened carefully. The elder picked up a seed from the ground and placed it in his palm. Then he said, "If a seed is planted quietly in the earth, covered, protected, and cared for, it begins to grow. No one sees its work at first. No one praises it. No one claps for it. But under the soil, something real is happening." Then he opened his hand and held the seed up in the air. But if you leave a seed out in the open, showing it to everyone, talking about how big and beautiful it will become, the sun will dry it, the wind will carry it away, and it will never become anything. Simon said nothing. The elder continued, "Your dreams are drying in the open. You are speaking them before they have roots. You are giving them away too early, and the praise you receive becomes a false harvest. You feel the reward before doing the work, so your spirit becomes weak." Simon felt those words deep inside. It was true. The elder stood up and said one final thing before leaving. "Protect your dream until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Work in silence. Let the results speak." Then he walked away. That night, Simon could not sleep. He kept thinking about the seed. He kept hearing the words, "a false harvest." He realized that each time people praised his plans, he was eating fruit from a tree that had never grown. The next morning, Simon made a quiet decision. He would test the elder's wisdom. He chose one small project, not a grand dream, not a big speech, just one simple thing. He decided to build a wooden chair. Normally, Simon would have told everyone. He would have said, "Wait until you see what I am making." He would have talked about the design, the wood, the beauty of the final result. But this time, he said nothing. Not to his friends, not to his neighbors, not to anyone. He gathered the wood in silence. He borrowed the tools in silence. He began the work in silence. At first it felt strange. Part of him wanted to talk. Part of him wanted attention. Part of him wanted someone to say, "Simon, that sounds amazing." But each time that feeling came, he remembered the seed. So he stayed quiet. Day after day, Simon worked. He cut the wood carefully. He made mistakes. He corrected them. He sanded rough edges. He measured again and again. He grew tired. He became frustrated. But he kept going, and something new began to happen. Because no one knew about the chair, no one could praise him early. Because no one was watching, there was no false reward. For the first time, Simon had to depend on discipline, not applause. And slowly, his focus grew stronger. He started enjoying the process, the sound of cutting wood, the feeling of learning with his hands. the quiet satisfaction of small progress. No one clapped, no one praised, but every day the chair became more real. Then one evening, after many days of quiet effort, Simon stepped back and looked at his finished work. There it was, a strong, beautiful wooden chair. Simple, useful, real. He touched it gently. He sat in it. He looked at every part of it. And in that quiet moment, he felt something deeper than the pleasure of praise. He felt true pride, not borrowed pride, not spoken pride, not imagined pride, real pride. The kind that comes only after effort, the kind that nobody can give you, the kind that grows from work, patience, and silence. The next day, someone visited Simon's home and saw the chair. They asked, "Did you make this?" Simon smiled and said, "Yes." The person looked surprised. "It is beautiful," they said. "I did not even know you were building it." Simon only smiled again. This time, the praise felt different. It came after the work, not before. It came as a result, not as a substitute. It did not weaken him. It strengthened him. That chair changed Simon. He began another project, and again he told no one, then another, and another. He repaired old furniture. He built small tables. He made shelves, stools, and doors. Each project taught him something. Each project made his hands wiser and his mind calmer. As the months passed, people in the village began to notice. Simon was no longer the man of endless announcements. He was no longer the man of unfinished plans. He had become a man of work. People started coming to him not because of what he promised, but because of what he had already done. They saw his skill. They saw his discipline. They saw the quiet strength in him. And little by little, Simon became one of the most respected craftsmen in the village. Not because he spoke loudly, but because his work spoke clearly. One day, a young boy asked him, "How did you become so good at this?" Simon looked at the boy and said, "I stopped talking about the forest and I started planting seeds." That is the lesson of this story. Some dreams are too precious to be exposed too early. When you speak about them too soon, you invite distraction, you invite opinions, you invite empty praise, and sometimes, without realizing it, you replace action with conversation. Talking feels productive, but talking is not doing. Words can create the illusion of progress. They can make you feel as if you are moving when you are really standing still. Silence protects energy. Silence protects focus. Silence gives your dream time to grow roots. This does not mean you must never speak. Sometimes you need guidance. Sometimes you need support. Sometimes you need to share your goal with the right person. But there is wisdom in keeping your dream close while it is still fragile. Not everyone needs to know what you are building. Not everyone needs to hear your next plan. And not every dream becomes stronger when it is spoken. Some dreams need darkness before light. Some dreams need quiet before they can rise. Some dreams need your hands more than your mouth. So if you have a dream today, protect it. Let it grow in private. Wake up and do the work. Take the small step, then take another one, and another one. Do not chase the feeling of being seen. Chase the satisfaction of becoming real. Let people be surprised later. Let them see the result when it is ready. Let your actions introduce you. Let your discipline tell the story. Let your work speak. And when the time finally comes, you will not need to explain much. You will not need to convince anyone. You will not need to ask for belief, because the chair will be standing in front of them, because the forest will already be growing, because what was once only a seed will have become something real. So be careful with your dreams. Do not throw them into the wind. Do not leave them in the open. Do not trade your future for a few sweet words in the present. Plant them, protect them, water them with effort, grow them in silence. And one day the world will see what silence helped you build. Before you go, remember this: you do not need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Learning English is the same. Some days are easy, some days are slow, some days feel frustrating. That is normal. What matters is that you show up, you listen, you repeat, you try again. If you stay consistent, your English will grow. Slowly, naturally. This is exponential English. Small steps, every day. Big change over time. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take a breath, and when you are ready, keep learning.